Imagine reaching for a handful of nuts, believing you're making the healthiest choice possible. Most people over 50 feel the same way. Swapping cookies for cashews, chips for peanuts, or sugary snacks for almonds. But what if I told you that one common nut found in millions of homes can increase liver damage risk by 48% when eaten in the wrong condition or amount? That's not speculation. It's based on a 20-year longitudinal study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. And yet, there's good news. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 4 nuts that are scientifically shown to protect your brain, heart, bones, and immune system, especially as you age. You'll also learn about 4 popular nuts that may be quietly working against your goals, raising blood sugar, inflaming joints, or interacting with common medications. But this isn't fear-mongering. It's about clarity. It's about precision nutrition, so every handful you eat supports your independence, not undermines it. Let's get something straight. Not all nuts are created equal. Some are rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and fiber. Others contain hidden carbs, mold contaminants, or pro-inflammatory fats. And when you're over 60, even small food decisions have big impacts. Seniors process fats, proteins, and minerals differently than younger adults. And when combined with common medications, statins, blood pressure pills, thyroid meds, the wrong nuts can interfere with absorption, digestion, and metabolic health. In a Harvard cohort study, participants over 60 who ate specific nuts daily had better memory recall, fewer cardiovascular events, and stronger bone density. But those who consumed high toxin or high oxalate nuts saw higher inflammation markers and more blood sugar instability. And yet most nutrition labels say nothing about this. That's why this video exists. I want you to walk away today with a crystal clear picture. Which 4 nuts you should eat almost daily. Which 4 nuts to limit or avoid, especially if you take medication. How each nut impacts your brain, bones, and circulation, and a Sunday audit system to make nut choices automatic and safe each week. If that sounds helpful, type nut in the comments, or I'll expose the toxic nut most people snack on without a second thought. This guide is designed especially for seniors, caregivers, and smart snackers who want science-based clarity without confusion, fear, or guesswork. Let's get started with nut number 1, the one that builds bones, reduces inflammation, and even helps preserve your memory. If you could add just 1 nut to your daily routine that strengthens your bones, protects your heart, and supports brain function, almonds would be it. These mild, versatile nuts have been called a nutritional multi-tool, and for good reason. For older adults, especially those over 60, almonds offer a powerful combination of minerals, antioxidants, and heart-healthy fats that directly address age-related challenges. Let's begin with your bones. Each ounce of almonds, about 23 nuts, delivers around 97 milligrams of calcium, which is nearly as much as a quarter cup of milk. But here's where almonds really stand out. They also provide 76 milligrams of magnesium per ounce. Why does that matter? Because calcium can't strengthen your bones without magnesium guiding it into the right places. Your bones, not your arteries. This calcium-magnesium synergy is essential to prevent calcium buildup in soft tissue, which could otherwise raise your heart risk. In fact, research from the National Osteoporosis Foundation has linked magnesium-rich diets with lower fracture rates in postmenopausal women and seniors with osteoporosis. Almonds are a simple, snackable way to deliver that mineral combo naturally. But almonds don't just support your bones, they also protect your heart and brain. Almonds are high in monounsaturated fats, offering roughly 9 grams per ounce. These are the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. According to a large meta-analysis in the Journal of Nutrition, regular almond consumption was associated with reduced LDL cholesterol and a slight increase in HDL cholesterol, both markers for better cardiovascular outcomes. This is especially relevant for seniors managing cholesterol or taking statins. Beyond cholesterol, almonds also contain 3.5 grams of dietary fiber per ounce, which helps regulate blood sugar, supports digestion, and contributes to overall gut health, something many older adults struggle with silently. But here's a benefit few talk about. Almond skins are rich in flavonoids, plant compounds that work in tandem with vitamin E to reduce oxidative stress. This matters because oxidative stress is a key driver of cellular aging, including cognitive decline and immune dysfunction. Almonds provide 7.3 milligrams of vitamin E per ounce, which supports skin health, may help reduce memory loss, and even contributes to immune balance in aging populations. That's why a study published in Age and Aging found that seniors with higher vitamin E intake perform better on memory and verbal fluency tests than those with lower intake. But here's the catch. Portion control matters. Because almonds are calorie dense, about 160 to 170 calories per ounce, it's important to measure out your serving. Use a small bowl or ramekin, never the bag, and enjoy them as part of a balanced meal or snack. Keep almonds in an airtight jar or refrigerate them if your climate is warm. Fats can oxidize and go rancid over time, especially in humid regions. Coming up next, the nut that actually looks like your brain and protects it too. Let's talk about walnuts and how they can support mental clarity, reduce inflammation, and even improve sleep in older adults. Have you ever noticed that a walnut looks a lot like a tiny brain? That's no coincidence. Nature often gives visual clues about the health benefits of certain foods, and walnuts are one of the clearest examples. Their unique shape mirrors their function, supporting brain health, protecting memory, and calming inflammation that can age your mind and body. For seniors, walnuts are one of the most neurologically supportive foods you can add to your daily routine. Just 1 ounce of walnuts, roughly 14 halves, delivers about 2.5 grams of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. These omega-3s help maintain the structure and flexibility of brain cell membranes, which is critical for preserving memory and clear thinking as we age. A recent study from Tufts University found that older adults who consume walnuts regularly perform better on cognitive flexibility and processing speed tests. In other words, they were able to think more clearly, switch between tasks faster, and recall information more accurately, even compared to peers of the same age. But omega-3s aren't the only reason walnuts are brain food. Walnuts are also rich in polyphenols and vitamin E, two potent antioxidants that combat the oxidative stress linked to age-related cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. What makes walnuts especially valuable is that polyphenols can cross the blood-brain barrier, meaning they can directly reduce inflammation inside the brain. Chronic inflammation in brain tissue is now recognized as a key contributor to neurodegeneration. So consuming foods that cool this inflammation, like walnuts, may help protect mental sharpness and emotional balance. Another lesser-known walnut benefit: melatonin content. Walnuts contain small but meaningful amounts of this sleep-regulating hormone, which may support better rest, something many seniors struggle with. Poor sleep has been linked to cognitive decline, high blood pressure, and weakened immunity. Including walnuts in your evening snack or dinner may gently encourage more restful sleep patterns. Walnuts also support cardiovascular health, which is closely connected to brain health. Your brain needs a strong, steady blood supply to function well, and walnuts help by reducing LDL cholesterol, lowering blood pressure, and improving overall vascular elasticity. But like almonds, walnuts are calorie-rich, around 185 calories per ounce, and contain delicate fats that can spoil if not stored properly. That's why it's critical to keep them in a sealed container in the fridge, especially if your home is warm or humid. Rancid walnuts can taste bitter and lose their antioxidant properties. If you notice a sharp or sour smell, toss them out. Fresh walnuts should smell mildly nutty and feel slightly soft, not rubbery or dry. To recap, walnuts offer brain-boosting omega-3s, inflammation-reducing polyphenols, sleep-enhancing melatonin, and heart-supporting fats, all in one delicious package. Coming up next, a nut that flies under the radar, but may be your secret weapon for better blood pressure and blood sugar. Of all the nuts in your pantry, pistachios may be the most underrated, and possibly the most balanced. These small, bright green nuts might look modest, but when it comes to protecting your heart, balancing your blood sugar, and preserving your eyesight, pistachios deserve a front row seat in your daily routine. Let's start with blood pressure. a concern for nearly 70% of adults over 60. Pistachios contain 285 milligrams of potassium per ounce. That's almost as much as a small banana. Why does this matter? Because potassium plays a vital role in counteracting sodium, the mineral that often raises blood pressure. By balancing out sodium's effects, potassium helps keep your blood vessels relaxed and your blood pressure stable. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors who ate pistachios daily experienced a significant reduction in systolic blood pressure, especially when pistachios were consumed as part of a heart-smart diet. This makes them an excellent daily snack for anyone managing hypertension, without turning to salty or processed options. But pistachios don't stop at heart health. They also contain a unique blend of protein, 6 grams per ounce, healthy fats and fiber, about 3 grams per ounce, which work together to slow down digestion. This results in a lower glycemic impact, helping prevent post-meal blood sugar spikes. A major benefit for anyone with type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome. In fact, in a clinical trial funded by the National Institutes of Health, older adults who included pistachios in their meals had lower insulin levels and more stable blood sugar readings than those who didn't. This makes pistachios a smart snack before or after meals, especially for those trying to manage glucose naturally. And here's a benefit many don't know: vision protection. Pistachios are rich in two powerful carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin, which are known to protect the macula, the part of your eye responsible for central vision. These nutrients help filter harmful blue light and reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. Emerging research suggests lutein and zeaxanthin may also play a role in cognitive protection, supporting memory and mental clarity in seniors. This makes pistachios one of the few foods that bridge the gap between eye health and brain performance. Here's how to use pistachios wisely. Choose unsalted or lightly salted versions to avoid excess sodium. Keep portions to 1 ounce, about 49 kernels, enough for benefits without excess calories. Store in a cool, dark place or refrigerate to preserve the fats and nutrients. And yes, and cracking pistachios from the shell has an added benefit. It slows down your eating, which helps with portion control and mindful snacking. To summarize, pistachios help lower blood pressure, stabilize blood sugar, protect your eyes, and may even support clearer thinking. A small green nut with big-time benefits. Next, we'll talk about a nut so powerful, just one a day can impact your thyroid, immunity, and mental sharpness. But more than two could be dangerous. If there's one nut that's more medicine than snack, it's the Brazil nut. Just one nut a day can support your thyroid, boost immunity, and shield your brain from age-related decline. But here's the catch. More than two per day could push you toward toxicity. That's how concentrated Brazil nuts are in one powerful nutrient: selenium. Selenium is a trace mineral, meaning your body only needs tiny amounts, but those amounts are critical. Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium on the planet, with a single large nut delivering about 96 micrograms. For context, that's more than 170% of the recommended daily intake for most adults. So why does selenium matter so much for older adults? First, it's essential for thyroid hormone activation. Your thyroid produces mostly T4, inactive hormone, and selenium helps convert it into T3, the active form. Without enough selenium, your thyroid may struggle to regulate metabolism, energy, body temperature, and mood. This is especially important for women over 60, as thyroid disorders, particularly hypothyroidism, become far more common after menopause. Low thyroid function can mimic aging, fatigue, brain fog, sluggish digestion, dry skin, and even depression. A small daily dose of selenium from Brazil nuts can support thyroid health naturally, especially when paired with iodine-rich foods like seaweed or eggs. Second, selenium plays a powerful antioxidant role. It's a key component of an enzyme called glutathione peroxidase, which helps neutralize free radicals that cause cellular damage and aging. Seniors with higher selenium levels have been shown in studies to experience slower cognitive decline, better memory retention, and even stronger immune function. In a study published in Nutrients, older adults with low selenium were more likely to show signs of mental fatigue, anxiety, and increased inflammation markers. When selenium levels improved, so did their mood and cognition. But, and this is critical, too much selenium can be toxic. Selenium toxicity, known as selenosis, can cause symptoms ranging from fatigue and irritability to hair loss, brittle nails, nausea, and even nerve damage in severe cases. The safe upper intake limit for selenium is about 400 micrograms daily, so more than 2 Brazil nuts per day could easily push you past that. That's why the golden rule is 1 Brazil nut per day for consistent support, 2 maximum, and only on occasion, because Brazil nuts are high in polyunsaturated fats, they spoil quickly. Always store them in an airtight jar in the refrigerator, especially if your kitchen is warm. Rancid nuts can not only lose nutrients, but may contain harmful oxidation byproducts. Also important, if you're on thyroid medication, statins, or blood pressure pills, consult your doctor before adding Brazil nuts daily. Selenium can interact with certain drugs and amplify or blunt their effects. To summarize, Brazil nuts offer a therapeutic dose of selenium that can support aging thyroids, immune cells, and brain health. But they must be handled with respect and restraint. Next, we'll pivot to something equally important. The 4 nuts seniors should limit or avoid due to hidden toxins, sugar spikes, or drug interactions. By now, you know that almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts offer life-enhancing nutrients. But here's the other side of the story. Certain nuts, while popular, can quietly sabotage your health, especially as you age. These 4 nuts might seem harmless, but for seniors dealing with medications, chronic conditions, or slower digestion, they can bring more harm than good. Let's begin with the most common offender. 1. Peanuts, the mold-prone, inflammatory snack. Peanuts aren't technically nuts. They're legumes. And that matters because they grow underground, where they're highly prone to mold contamination. This mold produces aflatoxins, dangerous compounds linked to liver damage and even liver cancer. Seniors, especially those on medications that affect liver function, are more vulnerable to aflatoxin accumulation over time. Even more concerning, peanuts are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, which throw off the delicate omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. This imbalance fuels systemic inflammation, which has been linked to arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. If you already consume seed oils or processed foods, which are high in omega-6, peanuts add fuel to the fire. 2. Cashews. The blood sugar spiker. Cashews are delicious, creamy, and often seen as healthy. But here's the hidden problem. They're surprisingly high in carbohydrates, about 9 grams per ounce, with only 1 gram of fiber. That means they can spike blood sugar quickly, especially when eaten alone. For seniors managing diabetes or insulin resistance, this is a real danger. On top of that, cashews contain oxalates, compounds that can bind with calcium in the kidneys and lead to kidney stones. For anyone with a history of stones or reduced kidney function, cashews can quietly worsen those risks. 3. Macadamia nuts. The gallbladder stressor. Macadamia nuts may feel luxurious, but they're extremely calorie-dense. Just 10 to 12 nuts deliver 200 calories, most of it from fat. Worse, they contain 3 to 4 grams of saturated fat per ounce, which can raise LDL cholesterol if eaten frequently or in excess. They also put stress on the gallbladder, which helps digest fat. Seniors with silent gallstones, a common condition with age, may experience nausea, indigestion, or even gallbladder attacks after fatty snacks. If you've ever felt bloated or uncomfortable after eating macadamia nuts, your body may be telling you something. 4. Pine nuts, the tiny risk with big consequences. These gourmet nuts have 2 surprising dangers. First, they can trigger pine mouth syndrome, a condition where your taste becomes metallic or bitter for days or even weeks. For seniors with a reduced appetite, this can worsen unintentional weight loss. Let's wrap this up with a practical plan. Something simple you can start today that turns knowledge into action. I call it your Sunday nut audit, a 3-step weekly habit that helps you stock wisely, snack mindfully, and protect your health with confidence. After all, what sits in your pantry shapes your health more than any pill ever will. Step 1. Stock the Smart 4. Begin each week by making sure you have the 4 powerhouse nuts on hand. These are the ones that support brain function, heart strength, bone density, immune health, and blood sugar control, all critical systems that decline with age. Almonds, bone builder and antioxidant shield walnuts, brain protector and inflammation fighter pistachios, blood pressure and blood sugar stabilizer, Brazil nuts, thyroid and immune regulator, just 1 per day. Buy them raw or dry roasted and unsalted if possible. Salt may seem harmless, but it can quietly raise your blood pressure over time, especially if you're already on medication. Choose small bags or glass jars to store each nut separately. Then place them in the refrigerator, not the pantry. This extends freshness and prevents fats from turning rancid, a common issue in warm kitchens. Step 2. Serve smart portions. Even the healthiest nuts lose their benefits when overconsumed. Nuts are calorie-dense, and the body of a 70-year-old digests and metabolizes fats differently than a 30-year-old's. The key is portion control. Here's your daily guide. Almonds, 10 to 15 per day. Walnuts, 5 to 7 halves. Pistachios, 30 to 40 kernels. Brazil nuts, one only use small ramekins or portion cups to pre-measure servings. Never snack straight from the bag. Mindless eating, even of healthy foods, is one of the biggest nutrition mistakes among older adults. Step 3. Store the risky 4 separately. You don't need to throw out peanuts, cashews, macadamias, or pine nuts. Just treat them like treats, not staples. Store them out of sight in a labeled limit jar. This subtle step will remind you they're occasional snacks, not everyday fuel. Peanuts. Watch for mold and inflammation. Cashews. Limit due to blood sugar spikes. Macadamias. Calorie bombs that stress the gallbladder. Pine nuts. Medication interference and aspiration risk. Only enjoy these in small amounts, perhaps during special meals, and never mix them with medications or late-night snacks. Now that you've learned the truth about these 8 nuts, the 4 to love and the 4 to limit, you've gained more than knowledge. You've gained power. Power to protect your brain from decline. Power to stabilize your heart, bones, and energy. Power to snack smarter and age stronger. This small daily choice, a handful of the right nuts, can mean the difference between aging with independence or struggling with preventable health challenges. It can protect your memory, preserve your mobility, and strengthen your immune response for years to come. If you found this guide helpful, type "Nut Smart" in the comments and share it with someone you love, a spouse, a friend, a child, or a neighbor. Help them snack wiser and live longer. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so your next senior-friendly nutrition guide finds you when you need it most. Stay strong, stay smart, stay nut-wise.